Hi, my name is Laura Novakovic, and I'm here to talk about the Space Shuttle mission, the Challenger. This was a mission that happened in January 28th, 1986, where 7 astronauts were killed during the shuttle mission, about a little over a minute into the launch. This was attributed to a couple of failures that were in the rocket booster and the O-ring and some gas leaks that happened, which created the combustion for the shuttle to explode. Some of the questions that are asked are, what could NASA have done differently? And part of this, there are a lot of aspects that we think about. Could NASA have waited? Could they have worked on other parts of the ship that needed to take a little more time? At the same time, you think about all the pressure they were on, aside from being able to launch this for reasons of monetarily considerations, political, and other aspects. And the thing was that this mission was delayed a couple of times, so they wanted to make sure they get it right. NASA definitely had some pressure on them while trying to get this going because the government wanted to see if this was worth the money spent. However, some of the problems that were told before the launch of the mission, NASA should have taken heavier into consideration, especially the O-ring booster where it leaked and some of the gases that were escaping in trials prior were taken into consideration, but not as deeply as they should have been. NASA as a whole organization knew that there were these problems, and they even talked about it the night before, but through management, it was something that they continued to go forward the following day. So on January 27th, they talked about it, and some of the engineers told them that it was not the best idea, but on January 28th, they decided to go ahead and launch the mission, which, as now we know, the mission failed and 7 astronauts were killed. One of the main engineers in this process was Robert Boisjoli. He was one of the engineers to talk about the problems that the Challenger was having, especially that booster. He let them know that they shouldn't fly, that the mission shouldn't go on. Him and another gentleman by the last name of Thompson tried to convince their upper management to stay with their original decision not to launch until these problems were corrected, but management went ahead and did so. So in my opinion, I don't think Roger could have done anything differently, aside from him, depending on what his age was and what other job prospects he could have had and standing in the way of management, he probably would have lost his job. Him and Thompson clearly stated and clearly told management that they shouldn't launch, that they should wait and go before they go ahead and launch this mission into space, knowing the risks that were had. So I don't think there's anything more he could have done, just because he let them know this wasn't going to be successful, but it was in their hands. If this was to be myself as a future engineer, I think times are a little bit different. Our technology is a lot better. We can foresee these problems and be able to repair them maybe at a faster pace that we could back in 1986 and the time prior that it took to build all the parts for this mission. So I think there's a big responsibility, however, as an engineer, to be able to stand sometimes against your management and let them know that whatever they're trying to do may not work. And you as the engineer, you as the builder, can see the problems that they may foresee and even sometimes have the tough talk of letting them know that this could potentially be a failure. So you do want to be loyal, but at the same time with management, you need to be able to let them know when things are going to go wrong, because then everything can be decided before then. And that way you can protect those who are launching on missions, not only yourself, but everyone around you that has worked so hard to get this accomplished.